Yo, everybody, it's me, Pops Van Zant from the Madness Comic Network, and I want you to have a heads up and look out for our sign-up page for the Roku campaign on Kickstarter. We're going to be trying to get the funding to get the Roku channel set up for people like that guy, the guy who's recording this, can get his show up there on Roku and start getting monetization today. So check us out, sign up, be ready. Peace.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Creative Cranium. Got some great guests tonight, and I can't wait to talk to them. Our topic is going to be effective networking. These are some of the best creators out there in today's market. Please say hello to my pal, CORISSA Grant. How you doing, CORISSA?
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Now, of course, we know each other very well, but for viewers that don't know, just real quick, could you introduce yourself and tell us what you're mostly known for?
Merch, but
the merch queen.
The merch queen. I'm CORISSA Grant. I role played for 17 years, and now I have a story with 100+ issues called Worthy Chaos Redemption, and we are currently live with issue 6.
Nice, nice. Well, congratulations on the series. I can't wait to hear more about the new one tonight.
Thanks.
But before I say any more, please welcome my pal, Aaron Dowan. How you doing, buddy?
I don't know how I ended up in here.
Yeah. Hey, I'm really glad you're here.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
So same thing. You and I know each other. For those that don't know, Aaron and I have worked together a little bit on the Cryptid project. Very successfully, I might add. I'm a very satisfied client. But Aaron, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you're mostly known for?
Yeah, so my name's Aaron, and I run Catalyst Comic Studio. I'm a writer, but I also do graphic design, and that's how I've met a lot of people that I've met. And I do editing as well. But I'm probably known most for currently, I guess, Tilt and Welcome to Everville.
Nice, nice. Well, welcome aboard, Aaron. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
And last but not least, my buddy Calvin. How you doing, Calvin?
Hey, how's everybody doing today?
We're doing great, man. We're doing great. So thanks so much for coming on. We're just meeting for the first time. So if you don't mind, real quick, introduce yourself and tell us what you are mostly known for.
Okay. My name is Calvin Chambers. I am the founder and creator of Icarus Metro Comics. I create comics and manga and short films, based in the tri-state area. I'm most known for my initial flagship series, Icarus Metro, but I'm also known for my webcomic that came out a couple years ago called Juice on Webtoons.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, congratulations. I love the name Icarus Metro, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a cool name. Well, I look forward to hearing more about that. Welcome to the show, Calvin. So let's jump right into a round of questions, okay? So what we're going to talk about tonight is effective networking, and I'm going to start a little bit with some convention questions. So CORISSA, so you are doing conventions now. Before you weren't, and I see now you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so first up, how many conventions did you do this year?
10.
You did 10 conventions?
10. Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
I signed up for them before I finished a comic, so I hadn't done any. But I had to sign up for them all, or they would have been sold out. So I didn't know what I was getting into, and I'm like, it's 10. What's the big deal? But they're exhausting.
Gotcha. And so let me ask you this: you set up your booth, right? You're getting all ready to greet customers, and hopefully you're going to have 100 customers the first day. What is the first thing you do after you set up your booth?
I stand there and look important. And then I get ready to trick people if they don't stop by. So there's that too.
I was headed toward, do you try and first of all, these are the right kind of problems, right? We often don't have time to do these things, but do you try to reach out to other creators to either A, meet them, or B, maybe even help them somehow?
Before we start, like before it starts and I'm all set up, I go around and introduce myself to everyone there. I also check out all the artists to see who I can commission for a cover because I have an addiction. So I think I have enough covers, and I think I have covers enough till issue like 19, and I'm on 6, so slightly ahead. But yeah, I like to introduce myself to everyone. I like to stake out where the bathrooms are, and I like to know what food they have available and how quickly I can get to it if I need to. So
Sure.
but yeah. But
okay, we'll hold the thought on that one, because I want to ask you. The next question is going to be about the logistics of 10 conventions. But Aaron, how about you? Did you do conventions this year?
I have not done conventions since 2021, kind of mid-year, I guess. So it's been a while, but we did a bunch in the area that we are in, which is in like southeast North Carolina area. Was really awful for conventions. It was all very just cosplayer driven. So no one was even wandering down Artist Alley. And then in a lot of those conventions, there weren't really any other publishers. We were kind of the only ones. So we would go talk to the people that we knew, that we have encountered, and some artists and stuff like that. But other than that, it was kind of just felt like we're on a lonely island.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's jump over to Calvin. Calvin, how about you? I see you out there, man, on the circuit. You're breaking into the conventions. The first question is, how many conventions do you do in a year?
It's tough to say. I would say it just depends on availability. This year we were able to fit in, I want to say 5 conventions.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Availability, I wish I had the opportunity to do more. I guess like now is the time to start applying for next year.
Yeah.
I've seen, I got 1 slate for next year so far. But outside of that, we did 5, a lot in driving distance, none in New Jersey, surprisingly. But we were able to go to Boston. We were able to go to Washington, D.C. area. We were able to go to Austin, Texas. We were able to go to, Washington, D.C. area. Yep.
D.C. does well, doesn't it? D.C. is good for comics, I heard.
Yeah. It's pretty good. There were some hit and misses. Of course, that depends on how long the convention has been going.
What are some things that were misses for you? What are some things that didn't work?
I guess smaller conventions. We happen to do a lot better with bigger conventions where people mostly go for comics, opposed to going for like collectibles and cards, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that I'm stretching into. Well, I am in the card market, so I guess I got to be careful how I say that. But that's something that for me is we started doing the cards through Kickstarter, of course, and ended up being semi-popular in my case. How about this, Calvin? When you do the conventions, you set up your booth, right? You're all ready to go, and you're a solo act, right? Or do you have any kind of teammate or writing partner or anybody like that?
Yeah. I do have some members. Usually my family. They come.
Oh, cool.
They love going to conventions. For the most part, usually when my sister's home from college, she'll come and help me out. Or my brother's free, he'll come and stop by and work.
Where's your sister go to school?
She was in Boston University.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, we were able to go out there too. So that works. So what was your question? I know you said you're talking about logistics.
What's the first thing you do after you set up your booth?
First thing I do, find a bathroom.
Yeah, I know that.
Find a bathroom and get a cup of coffee, because usually those days are very long.
Yeah, I'm a coffee guy too. So, I wanted to kind of keep our topic centered around networking, right? So, CORISSA, the first thing when I was in, where the heck was I? That was Harrisburg. I was con neighbors with Ken Hunt. That was the first time I met him. Heck of an artist, man. And I tell you what, he's really developing a following. He was busy the whole time.
Yeah. He did my hardcover cover.
Sweet.
He drew it, and CC Dela Cruz from Lady Death Universe colored it again, just like my issue 4, which was like the most popular sold cover I got. So
Gotcha. Good colorist too. You're on fire there,
Yeah.
Carissa. You got the super teams. So that's what I was talking about with the networking. So where did you meet Ken? Can I ask you?
That's a good question. Let me think. I know how I found Ian Chase Nichols. I'm thinking how I got Ken Hunt. I think I saw Ken Hunt posting. I probably added him by accident, or he was suggested from Facebook or something. So I had asked, I can't remember what he posted, but he posted something. I think it was like a Godzilla or something. And I was like, oh, what's your commission? And he's like, oh, well, he's actually quite cheap for, I mean, 10 years he worked in DC on Batman and Superman and Harley Quinn and all that stuff. And
Sorry, John, what's up, man?
Boom. So I guess I just got lucky, and then through him he gave me didn't give me let me borrow CC Dela Cruz, and because she used to do a lot of his stuff, she was more than happy to do his stuff, so it worked out really well. So
gotcha. Okay, so Aaron, when you the main thing for you is you also got your editing and design gigs going, right, Aaron?
Absolutely.
Would you say where do you find those people? Because I'm trying to get some editing gigs myself. I may as well ask that question. So,
Yeah.
like, do you just market for it, or do you have a Fiverr ad, or how do you do it?
So probably the highest paying one that I've gotten so far was off of Fiverr. That has been a repeat client, so it's been great. And it's just somebody that's really new. Other than that, it's kind of been word of mouth. There's been a couple of occasions where people that I know would say that they didn't think that they would be the right fit for this particular person for X, Y, Z. One of them was because it was someone that was writing something that had a Christian element to it. And so they just recommended me, and that guy was like, well, I'll just put you on the series. And then some people, it's just like I've met them and we've worked together on other stuff, and then they tried me out and we just kind of keep rolling with that. So it's really just building that little core of the editing side of stuff. Graphic design, it's people like you just randomly see stuff and you're like, hey, I like that aesthetic.
Yeah, I forget what it was that I saw now that made me think, hey, I want to work with this guy.
It was something with Catalyst that was like the pink and the blue that I usually used for our colors.
But we're real happy with the design work. I'll mention we were talking about backstage. Aaron and I are working on a flyer for Baltimore Comic-Con that's going to be it's a handout from Comics Wellspring. And of course, how I'm involved is it's promoting my book, The Call of the Cryptid. And the part that involves Aaron, it's going to be a scavenger hunt. Is that me making that noise? Do you guys hear that?
No.
Maybe it's me. I think we're okay. But it's a scavenger hunt in which you visit each booth and you get a prize for being at the booth. Calvin, did I ask you, are you going to be at Baltimore?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
yeah.
I keep wanting to cross paths with you. I see you out in the conventions and we never cross.
Yeah, I think I applied for Baltimore last year, but I couldn't make it. But I didn't apply this year because I didn't know what it was. This year I have more so like a 5-con limit. But next year I'm trying to go everywhere in the sun.
Let me ask you, why the limit and why the change?
I wanted to try to focus a little bit more on marketing on social media and marketing.
Here we go. Sure. Yeah.
I do well at conventions, and conventions are all, great and dandy. And, sometimes it does take a lot of work to put into going to conventions. So I wanted to try to create the passive way, have that time for myself to write and still create, but then also try to figure out a way to get people to notice it virtually, which, it's still a journey being worked on.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you bringing that one up. And when you get a second, Calvin, send me your Kickstarter link in the private chat, and I'm going to pull them up on screen here. I'm going to go around the next one. So let's jump over to Carissa. So Carissa, you're getting stuff set up. And again, when I hear 10 conventions a year, my mind is blown, right? Like I've even got a half decent travel rig, and I'm more with Calvin. I do 5 a year, maybe 6. Oh, that's me that's got the static.
Well, this is awkward.
How about now?
There we go.
There we go. That should be a little better. But I was starting to
headphones on. They drive me crazy.
Oh, and sometimes it's easier when there's 4 people online.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
We seem to.
It makes me feel it's like a weird, I don't know, echo in my ear. I can't do it, but yeah.
And it's funny, you get these audio issues, and it's always something weird that's causing it, like somebody using the microwave. But I did hear it. I noticed it too. So, Carissa, let's jump back over to you. Right, 10 conventions a year. You got your booth set up. What's the first items that you put out on the table? What would you say is your main draw? Is it issues? Is it prints?
I would say my prints bring them in more than anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The prints. They love seeing Anubis prints, and they usually stop and look at that or my banner, whichever side it's on. Then they see the layout of. I only bring 3 issues. I'm too lazy to bring more. So I just bring the 3, and generally it works out because they buy all 3, and then they have to go get my Kickstarter to get more. So I had a couple people go on my Kickstarters, which was great because I have the little the code, which if you don't have, you should definitely get.
Yeah. We're going to do that this year. I'll give a quick shout out. We're going to print a little stand up because while we're at the convention, it's actually going to launch while we're there, which that's a little bit, it's a plus and a minus because we can talk about it while we're there, but I won't be able to watch it and maintain it as closely if there's an issue, which sometimes there is, So, yeah. But it's going to be a stand up that has it's like an oversized QR code on it. You can just walk by, and the hope is that people will. I might not even put words on it. Like we'll just see how many people scan it and check it out. Like what the heck's that thing?
Yeah, that works.
So how many prints do you take?
Maybe 20 each.
Okay, a pretty good number.
More. Yeah. Well, I have like 10, so I don't bring too many of each, but they sell pretty well. And I don't sell them really expensive. I do like $3 each or 2 for $5. And then people usually get that. I had one person buy every single print and the issues, which was nice. But it really depends on. I have to say more than not. I think like Nashville was my best table. I made more than double my table back, which is the first time I did that. And I have to say that except for 2 people, so now those 2 people are stuck in my head. But those 2 people, they all bought all 3. So it was actually kind of nice that they would, put their money down and for a comic they don't know anything about and buy it. Yeah. So that was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I legit like the sets.
Yeah. It worked out because 1 through 3, I bought the most of. I have like 500 each because that was like the price break. Now I only buy enough to cover whatever. I'm on a pull list, not a lot, but I'm on a pull list on my local comic book store. So I just get enough for them and for the campaign or whatever. I'm mostly worried that when the hardcover comes out, a lot of people might not buy the floppy. So that's kind of a test for next year to see if people are still going to buy the floppy when I have the hardcover. So it's just since my hardcover is going to be like $40 for like 7 issues, which is 280 pages. So we'll see.
That sounds like a good price. I'm doing, we're building our trades is what we're doing. I'm on my second one here, and that one's going to be, it's 136 pages. That's before any kind of bonus, which we always hit that, but it'll be like, I think I'm going to shoot for 30 or maybe 40. What do you think is the price point for 130 some pages?
Is this hardcover or soft cover?
It'd be soft cover. I don't sell enough to do hardcovers.
Yeah, I'm buying hardcover. I have to buy like 500 of them. But can't wait to store those. But I would say between 25 and 35 for soft cover and between between 25 and 35 I've heard for soft cover. You could probably get away with 39. I'm going to do the other reason why I'm doing 40, 39 on the campaign, 40 in person. But I'm only doing that because I'm not having a soft cover. I'm only buying hardcover and that's it. So I picked a soft cover price so that people aren't like, oh, I'm not going to buy a hardcover because it's that. So we'll see how that goes. Everyone's been wanting one, but when it takes time to take out your wallet, it's usually a different story. So
Right. I will tell you, I'm hesitant about the hardcover printing. Aaron, what's your thoughts on hardcover printing? Are any of the
a soft cover? It's the exact same price as soft cover with where I'm going. I think it was like $1 difference. So I was like, I might as well get hardcover.
It would take me a while to sell through 500.
No,
Aaron, what do you think
pretty
is
close.
what do you think about hardcover books? Are any of yours hardcover?
No, I mean, we just finished the campaign for our first trade. So
How many pages were in it?
128.
Well, that's enough. You got a square bound book. Why didn't you do a hardcover?
Yeah, cost difference for same thing. Like, I don't want to order too many and have to.
I didn't know. Yeah, you can't seem to get a reasonable because like I always want to try something small and then try it out. You know.
Right.
The cost difference was like I had to like 250 books was almost the same price as 500. So I was like, I might as well get 500. So we'll see. Obviously, it's not going to be sold for a while, but I figure they won't expire. So
yeah, it's not donuts or something, right? They'll be
yeah. So there's that.
It'll be your inventory to get you through the year. I will tell you that my my Baltimore inventory order was pretty impressive. Well, that was including the cryptid books. It was like 600 books.
Damn.
So, hey, now I got to sell them all. You understand? You know, the Harrisburg con wasn't that good. So, hey, Calvin, what did you say your home city was?
I'm based in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think what would be closer to you. Do you get to Philly at all?
Yeah, I do. I do go to Philly. I know my last con in Philly was last year. It was a convention called PucciCon. It was based out of the Poconos. So I did that last year. I've done Greater Than Philly Comic Con. I'm very close to New York, so I do New York conventions, Connecticut conventions, Boston, DC, Delaware, anywhere I could drive to. Let's just say that.
Yeah, gotcha. And that's what you do. You always drive. Do you fly to any of them?
Just DreamCon out in Austin, Texas. That was the farthest I've gone. I'm hoping I can maybe go to Emerald City next year.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
But unlike you guys, I don't think I've ever had a big order like that. 600 book inventory, 200 book inventory. I usually go with about, I think I have Icarus Metro 1 and 2. I have Ani Hunter 1, and I have the Normals short comic. And I usually go with about maybe 10 normals and about 50 of each book, which is about maybe 150. I usually sell about maybe 75% of it each convention. Usually always sell out of issue ones. People love getting issue ones of, just so they can test trial, any book. And this is my campaign right here for Ani Hunter 1. Trying to back. We got 11 days left. Ani Hunter, story about a professional basketball player, seeking to cure his deadly illness by killing these demons, these shape-shifting demons called Ani. And when he kills them, he takes their life energy. So with this is a new installment within our universe, the Icarus universe, and we're looking to just create more paranormal comics, more on street level, outside of what we have for Icarus Metro.
It looks great, man. This looks great. And you mentioned earlier about maybe it was 15 minutes ago. You said about how being in the manga category. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that this book?
Yes, that's this book. So it's more in a manga style.
So bless you, honey. So I got to guess that this is going to be a successful category. The sales of manga being what they are right now.
Yeah. So this is definitely done well at conventions. And I put it out at convention as a test trial. Put out the 24-page version. But with this Kickstarter, I added 2 additional stories within this with the same characters. So this 40-page Kickstarter, looking to just expand, try different art style, see what works with relaying the messages, relay within the stories.
I like the character designs, man.
Thank you.
How long did it take to make this project?
Started the project, I would say May 2022, and it was finished in April 2023. And that includes the writing, the character art, the cover pages, artwork. Shout out to Med Manga, Louis Ho, Mark Jones Javier for the artwork. And I did the graphic design.
Oh, nice. So is that, so you do a few things then. What's your background? You're a writer, you're an artist?
So I wish I had the skills of an artist. I would say that is a legendary skill to have. I am a writer, I'm a graphic designer, and I'm an editor. So, hopefully one day I'll be able to add colorist to that. But
yeah, you work on, are you a colorist too?
Practicing on YouTube.
Well, good for you, man. Good for you. It sounds like you've got a lot going on.
Yeah, I wanna be able to, create everything myself. I feel like if you have a vision, the easiest way for you to, pursue that vision is to just create it,
Yeah, I think it's cool how you're like building your universe, man.
Yeah.
Like I've been following your projects, and I think you've done a nice job building it out.
Yeah, it's just as you would say, trying to be effective with networking marketing, letting people know, okay, this is what I do, and this is what I'm trying to pursue.
Sure. Well, speaking of marketing, wow, here's the current champ, right? Carissa Grant, the queen of merch. So, yeah. and just a quick clarification, boy, I love the idea of a hardcover, Carissa. I'm always trying to think of a way that I could put it together. I just hadn't thought of you know what I will probably do? What do you think of this? It would be the chrome logo, which now they do what they call the iridescent. I got to show it to you in person. It's pretty cool, but nice. It's with a gloss over it. Like the whole thing would look.
What about, have you ever thought about doing a metal cover?
I have. I kind of like that too.
Yeah, it's a little pricey. It is $35 each. However, for a hardcover, for a metal cover trade paperback, you would probably get, double that. So, and you only have to buy 10 of them on Ready Comics. So it's just something to think about. I have debated it. I haven't decided yet, but
that's a pretty good one. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how many pages it's seen. I'm sure there's a gap, but it was like,
dude, that's what I mean. There's something great about this show, it is this, because the truth is I don't know any of these things, and that's really useful. I something, you're reading my mind. If something has a 10 copy print trial, I would love to try that. So I'll give that a go.
Great.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to get us off track, though. We're going to talk about Worthy Chaos Redemption, a horror adventure comic. It's on Kickstarter right now. We should do a call to action. We should get some backers over there to check it out. Now, you're already funded in your case. This is a pretty good one. Closing in on 100 real fast, 10 days to go still. 2,700. Congrats, Carissa.
My goal is 120 backers, which is 5 more than last time. So
I think you got this. It looks like you got it. Now, so this is not number 7, right?
So this is number 6. Number 7 is done and already all set. It's going to be at least October 3rd. So we have a campaign like right after this. And that is the last issue in book 1, hence the trade paperback, the whatever. So this one is 32 pages. Oh,
that's oversized too. It's good to see. There's something I like about both you guys. Calvin did this too. It's an oversized book. It's given a reader a little bit more value, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, issue 7's 38 reading pages. So I got told, oh, you could have made it 2 books. I'm like, yeah, but there was no good place to leave it, and I really wanted to get it done. So plus it's by 1 year in comics, so I wanted book 1 done. So I'm excited that 1 through 7. Actually, all the pages for issue 8 are all sketched out. I just got them today. So we're moving right along. So
you want to give a shout out to your art team?
Jonas DaCosta is a 1-man band, and he's phenomenal. This is his, I wanted to keep saying it's his first paid job, but now it's his 8th paid job. But Worthy Chaos is his first comic job, and he is phenomenal to work with. He is amazing with panels. I don't even bother telling him how many panels anymore. I just tell him what needs to be on the page, and he turns it into this amazing story. So yeah, I definitely recommend him. And he promises to stay for all 50 issues. Actually, he was upset. I told him he couldn't do the spinoff. He's like, why not? And I was like, well, you got 50 issues for this one, And then that's going to be 7 years, and issue 2 is already 10 issues in. So by the 7-year mark, I'm pretty sure you're going to be doing those. So
yeah, it's a real quality of team. And so now, how did you meet your gang?
Well, my co-writer, who, if anyone doesn't know, my story is split where the 2 main characters are written by 2 different people. So I
forgot this part. Yeah, real quick, tell us about that.
Yeah, so I start the story, I lead the story, and I write for everything Serafina. And then I send it to my co-writer, and my co-writer then writes it in Draven's eyes, doing his speech, his thoughts and everything. And then that completes both points of view of that chapter. And then I just jam them together for the comic. So when you read, you're reading 2 different people. I never write for Draven, and Draven never writes for Serafina. So I met my co-writer while role-playing. It took us 2 years to write 100 plus issues, 50 for this one, 45 for the spinoff, and then the series 2s and the prequel. And then Jonas DaCosta actually found me because I was annoyed. I think you know that my first artist screwed me over. I lost like $5,000 in that. And then I put out my chapter on Facebook and Reddit. And I said, if anyone wants to do a free test page, because I was so tired. I spent like thousands of dollars and went through all these artists to get, and no one could do anywhere close to what I wanted. And I put a feeler out and I said, if anyone wants to do a free page, you know, if I like it and it looks like my characters, I'll pay for that page and then sign you on for like 50 issues. So I had 5 people working on, which surprising that people, you know, because that's a lot of work. And I wasn't trying to be like a freeloader kind of choosing beggar, but I was just so annoyed. So I had those 5 people working, and Jonas asked me if I would take one more. And I said, well, I'll make a deal with you. If you do one now for free, I'll look at it first. If you want to wait, if I don't select those 5, I'll pay you for one. He did one for free in 24 hours. It was 5 paneled, colored, lettered. And I was like, you're hired.
Oh, he colors and letters them?
Yeah, he does everything. Yeah. So yeah, I hired him, paid the rest to go away, and there we go. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump over to Calvin. Calvin, and go ahead, man.
So I do want to ask now, CORISSA, right? CORISSA.
Correct.
You said a lot of things, man. I just want to pick your brain one day. I just want to pick your brain.
I get that a lot.
Now, where did you find? Now, me personally, that when I first started, I had a lot of trouble finding an artist to work with.
Yeah.
You know, and even so, still, you know, doing spin-offs, doing other projects that are not the main series, I still have trouble finding artists to work with. Not because of anything where, okay, this artist can't perform the way I want to perform. It's more so for like budget reasons, for maybe the artist isn't available because they're being picked up by all these other indie, you know, projects. You know, was it difficult in terms of like the search, opposed to the selection?
Actually, I had tons and tons of artists that had put in submissions or that I had paid, and a lot of them were good, but they never quite got that style that I was looking for. And I will tell you, and you probably already know this, I'm going to say it anyway, because I wish I knew when I started. Never ask for a character design. Never ask for one. Ask them to do a page from your script. Write up a script and do one page. And I'll tell you why, because I didn't find out until I did the free, you know, do your free page from the script. I would pay these people for character designs. It was almost double the price of a page. And then after I did this, and I asked them to do a page, they couldn't do it, you know, repeatedly or sequentially or whatever. So it was a waste of my money. However, when I do a page, I tell them the same thing, what my character looks like. And then they design it. Like I didn't, like, I don't know why I didn't think of this before. I just thought character design. But it was like half the price to do a page. I got to see how they put them in action. I got to see the expressions that they put on my characters, and it worked out fantastic. And I wish I had known that, you know, before in, but I did find a lot. I found a lot on Reddit. I found a lot on Facebook. They didn't get the character in my head. I don't know. I can't see what's in my head, but they couldn't. But Jonas DaCosta saw it right away. And I stayed within budget pretty much. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Still pretty much don't, but yeah, it wasn't that I couldn't find the artist, and I found a lot that were actually really reasonably priced. It was just finding the ones that did my style. I only got scammed twice. Besides the whole 5,000, that's a totally different story. But the one guy sent me these really nice pictures, and I was like, "Oh, that's really great art." And he sent me I'll have to show you guys one day because it just cracked. If it wasn't so funny to me how funny and bad it looked, it was the worst drawing I've ever seen from like a 5th grader. Like, it was just the worst drawing ever. And he could not understand. I'm sure he knew, but he couldn't understand why I didn't think it was worth paying for. So obviously he used somebody else's art. So you got to be careful of that. These people that you guys probably get this too in the inbox, like daily, like hourly. I'm a, commission artist, blah, blah, blah. And they keep bugging me. So what I do, if you want to get them off your back, just tell them, I want to do a free test page. I may or may not select it. But if you want to do it, here's a page of my script. And generally they actually do. They do it. So it's generally amusing to me because if they're really horrible, then I'm not paying you because it's free. And if it's really great, then I have a new artist. So you generally have nothing to lose, and it gets them off your back. So
that's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, because it actually worked out pretty good. They are annoying, and I don't know if they all paste and copy the same damn thing. So I mean,
they do. It seems like they do. It seems like. So Calvin, I'd like to know. So because I mean, you've got a great team going. How did you get your team?
Well, I would say that there are pluses and minuses of working with a team for a very long time. Of course, because sometimes people's rates go up, and then of course that sometimes fall out of budget. My team for Icarus Metro, I'm kind of reorganizing the team at the moment.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
We're looking for new colors. So we're trying to figure out, okay, how can we find the colors that'll work well with what we've shown for the artwork for the previous issues. We want everything to just translate nicely. The team for Ani Hunter, I would say it definitely took a while to form. That's why the production of the comic took a little while. We had an artist originally, and then this artist told us that they didn't have time to work on the art anymore. So they refunded us, and we took another 2 months to find another artist, which we found, and he's been amazing so far on Upwork. Because I like to find.
Oh yeah, I know.
I used Upwork, yeah.
Outside of that, I first started my journey with comics on Fiverr, and
oh really?
Yeah, I first started.
What were you doing there? I want to hear about this.
Well, I was hiring people, and getting misled a lot, So I definitely spent a good couple of grand on Fiverr trying to find an artist that can draw the characters that I want them to draw. For example, I would get character art, right? And then I'd have another artist draw a better version of that character, and another artist draw a better version until I got the version that I wanted for the design when I first started. But now, I do agree, you have the artist draw. You might have a picture of the main character, the main couple of characters, and then you have the other characters being drawn by the artist working on the project, from scratch, brand new. But yeah, it's definitely tough trying to find artists that work with the art style you like. Because me personally, when I look at art within comic book stores, within anime shops, I'm attracted by the cover. If the cover is appealing, then there is probably a 50% through 75% chance I'm going to buy the book at some point, and I want to make sure that reflects into my work, that, my work is representation of me. And I want my stuff to be the best based off of what I envision it to be.
Good answer. Good answer. Thank you. So Aaron, how about you? So you got the squad over there with Tilt. How do you pick your teammates? How do you find your people?
Yeah, we have a few different squads. I guess the first.
How many are there total? You got what, 3 teams or something, right?
Goodness. All right. So, I guess we'll do Tilt first. So the first person in that would be Matt Sotelo. He's the co-owner of Catalyst, and he's an artist. who lately is dedicating more time to doing his tattoo art. So he went back full time doing that. But
well, I didn't know. Hold on a second. I didn't know you had a partner. So he's co-owner of Catalyst.
Yep. Yeah, he's actually the artist from the book Paradigm, which was the first comic book that he and I both did. And he also does all the character concepts. So he does character concepts for Tilt, all the characters in Tilt. And then I was talking to somebody at the time that was working in comics. We were both kind of getting our feet wet in it. And she kind of introduced me to Joe DeSantos, who I brought in for Tilt. And we have a fantastic working relationship. We did all 4 Tilts together. We are working on 2 other projects together. One of them, you guys might have seen a post from, his name is Ralph, but he's been posting a lot in all the comic book groups for A Trade Injustice. He had brought me in to script that and Joe in to do the art for that. So we get to work together again on somebody else's project. And then we have another book called Fire by Night, which is kind of a medieval setting. And Joe's doing the line art on that. When it came to colorists, it was legitimately just asking people to email us their portfolios. And for Tilt, we found Ramon and pulled him in. And Tilt number 1 was his first coloring job for a book. And Tilt looks great. He did fantastic. It only got better as it went.
I'm sorry you can hear my wife sneezing throughout all the rooms of the house. It's because I have my headphones off. You would think I sprinkled pepper in every room. I swear I did not. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah. And then for Fire by Night, Fall of Night, I'm sorry. I always mix it up with my short story. Fall of Night, I brought in a letterer who was like our original biggest fan. And he started doing lettering and he's working on his own book. But he kind of works with a colorist, and we brought her in for that. Her name is Lois. She is a fantastic colorist. And then there's One Last Job, which was a black and white book. So Daniel Gemeno, that was one of the ones that we put a call out for people doing a very specific style.
I've heard of him, by the way. I'm a fan of him.
He has a very cool style, and I wanted something kind of gritty and kind of blacks heavy. And he was able to do that, and we picked him out of probably like 80 applicants. And then
Pops on the road. What's up, Pops?
What's up, Pops?
Is this a private party or can anybody join? What's
you
up?
can join us. I'm glad you did, because we're getting ready to talk about the Roku network. Do you want to hang around and do that real quick?
Yeah, I probably ain't in the best condition to do it, but we can run through it if you want.
I see.
Hey,
Well, I'll just make a quick comment. We got multiple projects working here. One of them is that the comics related Madness Network is now going to be the Madness Roku Network. We got a Kickstarter going, which I hope you guys will consider supporting it. If you'd like to support independent creators making new and original content in a sort of unedited and unfiltered setting.
What we have is we have a couple of shows on our network, like the Horror Movie Club, where YouTube will black out his show completely if he's showing a trailer of a horror movie. And it's like, they demonetize people. They don't treat us right as content creators. So we're going to build a network you guys can bring your shows to and not worry about something like that. The only way your content's going to come down is if like the DMCA says, hey, Pops, you got to take that down. I'm going to go, okay. But ain't no YouTube overlords, none of that. Create your content, whatever it is you do. If it's hobbies, comic related stuff, review shows, gaming shows, we want everything. We obviously, you guys already know, we already have most of that in the madness already, but we want it to be as big as we can. The more stuff we have,
it'll be pretty cool to be on a Roku network. I can tell you that. And the kind of shows that they're going to have, the quality keeps getting better and better and better. Yes. And so for anybody that's watching, if you've ever thought about developing your own show or your own podcast, or conversely, if you ever wanted to be the exclusive sponsor of one of your favorite shows or podcasts, or see if you're a creator and you want to promote your product on the air, this is going to be the project for you to take a look at, which is the Madness Comic Network Roku platform. That's on, we're going to be launching on Saturday, right, Pops?
Yes, tomorrow. We've looked, like we've researched this. There's a couple of comic related channels over on Roku, but it's like one show that comes up once a week. It's not a network. Like, we want to build something that's like Netflix. It's view on demand. So we can upload as many of your episodes as you want, and people can just like binge watch your stuff from beginning to end, and you actually get 50% of the ad revenue generated by that, as opposed to what, the 20% or whatever YouTube might scratch your way. You know, Roku is a completely untapped audience, guys. That's the way.
Yeah, these you know, the modern shows and modern podcasts are a thing. Here we are, gang. So I definitely support this project.
A lot of the people on Roku don't watch YouTube. They don't know what we're doing over here. We got to take it over there and show it to them, right? Right. That's what we're going to do.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for giving us the
did you give them there are 32 PDFs available on this campaign on different tiers. 32 different PDFs available. There's a few physical things that are, you know, pretty unique. Smoke alarm. We must be burning the house down with these ribs. Yeah. Yeah, we got some ribs on the smoker right here. So we're getting ready to go have some grub. But dude, I've been having a great time. My birthday is at midnight. You guys know I turned 60.
Happy birthday, Pops. Happy birthday.
That's why you don't see me sitting in my normal set with all my stuff. You know, it's like I'm out having a good time for a change. And totally appreciate you, Timothy, everything you've done building the campaign. He didn't say that, guys. Him and Laurie have built the campaign page.
Well, it's very sweet of you to say, yeah. And of course, like I say, we're all trying to find some way to help others, and that was one of my small things that I know how to do is make Kickstarter campaigns. So I'm the engineer behind making the Roku Network Kickstarter. It'd be pretty cool when we're all on Roku, man. We'll have the last laugh. I tell you what, it's going to be a fun ride.
Hi, Carissa. Carissa's campaign. Her link is also at the bottom of our page. You'll see it tomorrow. It'll be there throughout her campaign. We have a bunch of friends of the network links at the bottom. And if you want us to put your link, you got to active or sign up. You want us to put our go ahead and just send them to Timothy. He'll add them right to the campaign. I'll grab
one for Calvin, but he only has 10 days left, I think.
That don't matter. That's 10 days. He can be getting seen. We're launching tomorrow.
All right, cool. Yep.
Look, Max's ends like Monday.
You guys know Pops,
right? Well, it's my first time meeting Pops.
First time for Calvin, but I know the other two. Yeah.
Pops is the best.
Yeah. I'm grateful because look, even when we do this show, this goes out now 8 channels or 10 channels?
Eight different places. Yeah, it's on 4. I think 3 or 4 Facebook groups, a couple of YouTube channels, Twitch, Twitter. It's all over
in there. All kind of nonsense. So, hey, Pops, thanks for putting that all together, man. We appreciate you, buddy.
It's just the common sense next evolution. Let's find an untapped market and take all of our stuff there. Like I said, a lot of them people on Roku, they don't pay no attention to YouTube. They get stuck on Roku and Tubi and all those streaming. You guys know what it's like. You're on Netflix and you're trying to find something to watch and you just kind of get stuck there looking at all the different stuff.
I do watch podcasts and I watch YouTube. I would watch Roku. I would watch a Roku Madness Network. I'll watch it. Yeah. I don't just say that because I'm going to be on it. So look, I'm a little bit biased, but I would watch these types of shows. Well, some of them I watch already. I watch Laurie's show. I always want to tune in and see what Carissa's doing.
Pop's been wanting me to get my own show forever.
Speaking of which, before we run out of time, I got to make sure I mention it is National Letterers Day. So let's give a shout out to our letterers. And since we're networking, I want to hear how you got your letterer. Carissa, let's start with you. You want to give a shout out for your letterer?
Oh, Jonas does it all. So Jonas is my letterer.
He letters everything to me. That's impressive.
He is somebody that I will probably kill someone else to keep. So
so you're attached at the hip. That's a good thing, man.
Oh yeah. If you ever watch, he posted something about RoboCop that when he died, RoboCop died, the boss made him come in the next day. I said that would be me as your boss. You would be coming in the next day. If you die, you're still working. So.
Calvin, how about you, man? You want to give us go ahead.
I was just going to say, Timothy, you guys are doing great. Carissa, you're wonderful. Calvin, it's great to meet you. that other guy. Is that Aaron? I can barely.
Yeah,
I'm on
you
my
know.
phone. Is that Aaron? I can barely see this little tiny picture, man. Yeah, what's up, my friend? All right, look, you guys go ahead and finish the show out. Do your thing, Timothy. I will see you tomorrow evening, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You got to push the button, brother.
Yeah. We got to launch the thing, man. We got to launch it.
All right, man. You guys have a great night. Peace.
Yep, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think he's having a good time.
I love Pops.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, Pops has sort of put together the network of all types of people that want to put out podcasts, and like now there's going to be one for radio controlled cars. Like, okay,
Really?
man. Yeah, there's going to be all kinds of, like, anything that's considered a hobby can kind of go in now. It's mostly, you know, comic people, but let's stay on track because I wanted to hear about Calvin's letterer and how he met him.
Yeah. I have so for Ani Hunter, the letterer is the artist. He did the art and the lettering.
Oh, you guys find these artists that do lettering.
Yeah. So I mean, it was surprising because I didn't commission him for the lettering. He just did it. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, you can continue.
Mine too. He just did it. Yeah,
he just did it. Yeah. For Icarus Metro, the artist, I was actually trying out different artists. I wanted to do a test page on Upwork just to see if they're lettering, the style of my comic based off of the original book's lettering, who I think got extremely busy. Couldn't get in contact with him again because I was on Fiverr. And the artist that I got on Upwork, he just went above and beyond. I mean, he did the lettering, and he also like made sure you knew what character was talking by putting like little snippets of their like face in the letter.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this is amazing. I was like, you're
that's pretty cool.
Don't book anybody else. No, just
well, lettering's a craft, right? And to find the right letterer to match the project. Aaron, did we get your? I went around in a circle, but I don't think I heard yours. Did I?
Yeah. So I did the lettering for the whole Tilt trade. I've worked with Dave Wentz as well, and then our ongoing letterer, hopefully from this point on, is Van Claridge. So that I can finally retire from having to do it. So.
First World Comic is mentioning Upwork is a better place than Fiverr. Calvin, you use both, you said, right? Hold on, you're muted.
I've used both too.
Yeah, let's hear about that. Upwork or Fiverr? First, Calvin, which do you think? Upwork or Fiverr?
I prefer Upwork.
Can I ask you why?
Only because of the protection I get. I feel more secure with the ability to pay out once the art is done.
Fiverr does the same thing.
Fiverr does the same thing. I can't get a refund if it's not the art that I requested. That's my issue. I feel like with Fiverr, you're paying everything up front. Opposed to Upwork, you can split it out into milestones.
CORISSA, how about you? What do you think?
I'm not sure.
Upwork or Fiverr?
Well, I prefer Upwork, but Fiverr does the same thing. So I don't know if you're selecting a different choice, but for Fiverr, I don't pay until I approve. Like they don't get the money until I approve.
You can do that because it takes mine out right away.
No, it takes it out and it puts it in an escrow. And then they don't get it until you approve. And so I do, for some reason, and I don't know if it's just me, I feel like Upwork, and probably makes no sense, is more sophisticated, and I don't know why. I just feel like they had better choices.
I can tell you why.
I want to know why. Tell us, Aaron. Tell us why.
So I work off both of those, and I can tell you on the back end, Fiverr. What's the right way to say it? Fiverr is going to be a whole lot of people that are just hoping somebody picks them. It's a lot scammier.
Yeah.
Upwork, like, you are legitimately, you have to be credentialed and stuff. You also have to be accepted if you're a creative person. Like, I
Nice.
had to do an application process on the back end so that I could be an editor and so that I could have a graphic design thing on there. And then also, I love the feedback section a lot. Like, I feel like that's a lot cleaner than it is on Fiverr. So yeah, I mean, out of the two, Upwork for sure. However, I have worked based off of both.
Yeah, I agree. I do like Upwork. I will say that Fiverr did watch my back because I got scammed. It was a quite easy scam that I got scammed. I don't know what this says about me. But anyway, this guy had like 260 5-star reviews. He says, "Oh, I can bring in more backers, and I can bring in 3 to 4 times more, and blah blah." So I said, okay. I paid him I think like $130, and he brought in really fast, within like 24 hours, 4 backers that were higher tiers, like one of a kind, like really high tiers. And I was like, that's really fishy. So I wrote to him so that it's in record. And I said, you brought in really big backers. Just so you know, if any of these back out, I'm coming after you. Just so you know, I want it on record. These are the screenshot of who backed them. I'm going to come after you. And he's like, oh, no, it's legit. They all backed out. So I went to Fiverr and I wrote to them. I said, listen, this is what I sent him because I knew it was. I said, I got backed out of all of them. I'd like my money back. And, you gotta look at your feedback, because all these people left feedback because eventually you can't leave it anymore. So by the time their campaigns ended and these people don't pay, then you can't leave feedback anymore. Like I didn't leave a 5-star because I had a feeling that I was like, this isn't going to work. You can't leave anything. I couldn't leave any negative part. So they gave me all my money back. So I get them credit for that. But I also told them, I was like, listen, this is a huge scam. I said, not only did I lose potential backers, but they had one of a kind tiers. Like they bought tiers, like they bought like a $300 Anubis statue that no one else could get then for those 3 weeks. So they refunded it, and but I prefer Upwork. I just find it, like he said, more sophisticated, and I got better work out of it, and I used it a lot in the very beginning before I found any other artists. So, but yeah,
Gotcha. I will just quick say that I said I hadn't used it, but I actually did use it. It used to be. It was back then. It was Guru. I used Guru.com. Do you remember when it was Guru.com?
Nope.
Actually, that's how I found Matthew Moss. If you know that guy, he's a good cat. He was an American living in Japan who was working on Guru.com, and I found him. We worked on our first comic together. That's going back a few years, but. Okay, so let's jump over to Calvin. So, Calvin, we learned a lot about your team, right? But now you mentioned, you got your toe in the manga water a little bit, and I'm kind of interested in that because, well, I'm going to shoot straight with you because right now it's running these impressive sales numbers, right?
Yeah.
So I guess what I want to ask is 2 questions. Number 1, did you choose it because of the sales being brisk on manga, which is fine if you did. Nobody's judging anybody here. And yeah, and number 2, where do you plan on taking the series? Like, is that something that's going to be a TV series? Where do you plan on taking it?
So, no, it's not because of sales or anything like that. So I originally started with manga. That was my initial start. Because that's what I grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up more on like the Dragon Ball Z, the Naruto, the One Piece. More than the comics. My introduction to comics was through the animated series.
Interesting.
Like Batman Beyond, Justice League, and such.
Yeah.
I didn't initially get into comics until 2016 when I went to my first Comic-Con. And then I got into Nightwing, Blue Beetle. I got into Ant-Man. Who else? Teen Titans, Constantine, stuff like that. And that's where I saw people making their own work. And, me initially, I thought, in order to make your own comic books, you got to either be in Japan for manga or you got to work at Marvel or DC. I didn't know anything about Image. I didn't know anything about Dark Horse, Valiant, or, Black Box or anything like that.
Maybe Boom.
Yeah, or even Boom. Yeah.
Great art, by the way.
You know what?
Great art.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, even Boom. Boom, I feel like Boom was just starting when I was initially looking into comics because they didn't even have a website. They just had a Facebook page. So I wanted to get back into the roots of, creating these stories in a manga style. Although I still have my comic style stories, I also wanted to have a little bit of diversity. I wanted to, where is this ending up? I want to see it on a big screen. I'm not gonna lie. I do want to see it on big screen. Whether or not that is animated or film, it's a little undecided. I still feel like I am very
animated.
see. I don't. Look, animated. I would love that. But I do feel like I'm very early in my journey. That is the goal, but I do feel like I'm very early in my journey to be able to achieve that. I feel like right now, we're pushing out these new stories, but we're also looking to build a community of people that are looking for the stories.
Yeah, build your followers.
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah. We're all right there. I think it's fair to say we're all in that boat. And there's various. Well, I'm following a little bit too. It's Icarus Metro is the name of the company or the name of the title of the book?
It's both. So it's my overarching company is the Innovative Dream, and then Icarus Metro is our house where we make all our publishing content. Icarus Metro Comics. So Icarus Metro is the title of the first book. It's basically the city area of where that story takes place. But the universe is the Icarus universe.
Nice. All right, that's pretty cool. I like that trading card too. I think I mentioned earlier in the show, I'm a fan of the trading cards.
Thank you. That's a stretch goal. I designed this myself.
Nice.
So hopefully one day, I'll be able to do that for all my characters. Yeah.
Oh, have trading cards for all the characters?
Yeah, trading cards for all the characters. Now, a game, that would be nice to have a little Dungeons and Dragons type of game where you can be, the pieces. You can be the characters. One day, that might be something for 2 years from now.
Gotcha. So tell us, we'll start to wrap this up. And while we're on Ani Hunter, I want to talk to Calvin. First thing, man, I got to tell you, it's really great to meet you because I've been following you as an artist. And I think some of what you're doing is really cool and has a ton of potential. When I was saying, what's the right way to say this? When I say about sometimes choosing something on account of sales being brisk, that's not any kind of judgment, you understand. I understand that it's got the potential to be something that could break big in a big way. You know what I mean? And that's exactly the kind of thing that would do that. So in your mind and in your own words, can you tell us who will love your new project? We'll do one last shout out here for it on the air.
I would say a lot of people that would love this project are people who love ghost stories, people who love dark stories, a lot of blood and gore, and also people who love sports. I feel like this would be a great story for young adults, young adults, teenagers, and even adults. We got a lot of feedback from adults and from young adults who love the story, love the artwork, love the little small jokes within the story. So I would definitely say if you love Kuroko basketball, if you love Blade, if you love Demon Slayer, if you love Iron Man, then you definitely love Ani Hunter.
Yeah, this is a great melding of different genres,
Yeah.
And I'd also mention people who like cool character designs because, like I said earlier, I think that you have kind of like an original character design.
Yeah, so we have a guy who we work with a lot. He's in Spain, and he does most of our character designs. And he did our animation short that we did for Icarus Metro. His name is Devill Y Vest, and amazing guy out of Spain. And you can find his work on our YouTube page.
Nice. Well, I definitely recommend to viewers to go and check that out. Man, wish you every success with that Kickstarter. I think that project looks great.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, man, you're welcome. Speaking of projects that look great, there is no stopping Worthy Chaos Redemption.
Well, here's hoping.
Carissa is just on her onslaught. Well, two things, Carissa. First, you want to talk about stretch goals a little bit? Because
we already passed the first 3. So even if you buy a $5 PDF, you will get 20 other PDFs of other amazing creators. It's 16 from the last one, so it's 4 new ones for returning backers and 20 new ones, obviously, for new backers. And then we got a print. We got the button from Ian Chase Nichols, who worked on, who did issue the wraparound number for this issue. Also did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Tick, and Red Sonja. Nice. And we're almost to, I think we're like 300 away, or a little less than 300 away from getting the large mirrored sticker.
Nice design, by the way, Carissa, on your Kickstarter.
You're getting better.
Yeah, no, do you mind if I ask a quick question about that? It's a little off topic. So, are you using Canva?
I am.
Gotcha. And you have Rick training you to use it?
He trained me on a video, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things I use. Well, when I say I use it to make some business cards. I want to show you the business cards I got. I think you'll like them. But now I'm trying to do stuff like, well, I want to try and talk to smarter people like Aaron and have him help me work on stuff.
Well, I love the, you said you like trading cards. You know, the metal trading cards are awesome.
Yeah.
So sure. I get them. They're only 10 minimum, and they're not that pricey.
And who does those? Is that Ready Comics too?
Ready Comics, yeah.
All right.
Their website's a little slow, and for some reason, their shipping's never included when you check out. You have to go through an invoice through the email. I don't know why. We do have like 4 different catch-up tiers for new people. We have issue 1 PDF, issue 1 print, and then of course you have the current issue. We also have a mini catch-up tier, which is 1 through 3, and we have the major catch-up tier, which is 1 through 6, and then we have a metal catch-up tier that's 1 through 6 with all metal covers.
I just want to make a quick comment. I like your skeleton bird plushie.
Yeah, 1 sold, and we have 1 left. So,
that's cool. He comes pre-hugged. He comes.
Yes. Next campaign we have the Hellhound plushie, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, and there's the metal trading cards. Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah,
I might do that. I guess, again, for the viewers that don't know, Carissa and I have done a couple of the similar things. By the way, I did very well with the laser engraved wood etch.
Oh, wait for it. Ta-da!
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's great, buddy. That's great.
I also got the next cover, which I told you about for the hardcover. I got that engraved too. So those are on the way.
Yeah, Carissa, I sold out during the Kickstarter campaign. So I'm going to do it again for the it's going to be the Water Wars campaign, and it'll be the covers are books. Although we might be getting an icon made, like I can say that's one of the things that Aaron is working on. So there might be one more thing. Let's. Nice. I'm sorry, where did I leave off? So we got the original inked art. Oh, you're selling the art? That's pretty cool.
So that's the original art from the same artist of the cover. And if you scroll down, there's also the actual cover original art. And I very, very, very rarely do that because I don't usually get rid of my characters. But it doesn't have Sarah and Draven, so I figured I put it in there.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one for a collector. I'm always on the fence about selling my art. I often don't have any. You know, sometimes when I work with Erwin, that's all digital art.
Yeah.
So.
Mine's all digital, and I actually, to be honest with you, I kind of seek out digital artists for
make many things easy.
Because I refuse to not do it if I can't afford or get the original art. So it's just easier for me to do digital right now. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a huge influence on my comic. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Supernatural, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, all of that. However, I just commissioned the artist from Buffy, Carl, and he sent me an amazing cover for issue 9, rough draft. So I'm so excited to have the Buffy artist from the comic book to do my my cover. So I'm excited.
Awesome. That's awesome. So in closing, just tell us once again, who will love this project? Tell us why they should go and get it right now. Drop everything and go get it.
Well, don't drop everything if you're driving or anything, but anyone, like I said, that loves Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Supernatural, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, survival games, horror movies, anything like that. It does, it's nonstop action. So if you don't like action or cursing, then you're not gonna like it. There's gore. There is pretty much a very thought out, long, detailed story. So it never gets boring, and it actually gets better as it goes, which is nice. And I'm biased, but it does get better. But yeah, a lot of action and gore. It's all good. And who likes merch?
Yeah, if you like merch, it's the right place.
Yeah.
So I guess I will mention one more time since we're on here. Of course, we're also trying to create this new network for podcasters and creative folks. If you have a show and you want to bring it to the network, it'll be on Roku, and it is something you can make money on if you get enough followers. But it's mostly about if you're a creator and you want to either endorse your brand somehow or to support another creator, it's a great way to do that. Or if you're a retailer and you want to become the exclusive sponsor of a show, that's something that's going to be available. So I want to give a quick shout out for that. Of course, I probably wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't mention this one, my stealth launch, which I have told nobody about, which is the Water Wars 2288, the Ultimate Edition. That's going to be going on. Well, it's going right now. You can run over there and click it.
Woo! I already did that.
So, yeah, I think I might be live at the same time as you, Carissa. I think I might.
Everyone's always live during mine because I'm always live. I'm ending on September 12th, and I launch October 3rd.
If I can get in time, I will come out and I'll do a special closing video, right? And you're on Calvin's last day. But I might not be ready in time. So other than that, guys, we're just about to our time. I really want to thank you for coming on. It means a lot to me that we are able to sort of get together and I can ask you these questions. The theme of the show is not like I'm the smart guy, right? Like I want to learn these things, and it's how I learn and grow as a creator. So thanks for coming on the air to tell us about your terrific projects.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Always fun.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, guys. And to those of you viewing from home, thanks again for taking a look. I definitely recommend you take a look at these projects we talked about tonight, and I'll include the links in the comments. And other than that, this is an episode of the Creative Cranium. We will see you guys next week.
Cheers.
See you guys.
Peace.